my experiences with Flint water. Um, I moved to Flint in 2009 and I stay with my dad, who is an amazing man. Um, so what happened was when we made the switch, it started tasting funny, looking funny. Ours was mostly clear, but it smelled weird and it tasted weird. So what I did is I relied on bad boys like these standard flavor packets. Personally, my favorite was strawberry lemonade. Uh, it let me get the water down. And then I also drank a lot of tea, which now looking back on it, it's like, oh, great, concentrated, tasty, concentrated lead. So it got to a point where it just tasted so bad that I almost threw up. And after that, I made the switch to bottled water. And about a week later, um, I start having this pain in my side. I'm like, what is going on? And it got worse. And that night, I ended up in the hospital with kidney stones. Never had an issue of it before. So, um, like I'd gotten a little dehydrated because of the water. And so, your kidneys filter out everything. So, you know, it the fresh water probably is what started flushing things out of my system, and that's why I had the kidney stone. Um, and so after that, like there was other weird things that happened. Last summer, or no, summer 2014, like my hair started falling out. And that was really weird to me because my hair is actually super long. It's down to the middle of my back. So you can kind of see. And, I've always taken really good care of it. So it was so weird for me for it to be falling out. And it wasn't coming out in clumps, but anytime I washed it, I'd have a chunk of hair that, like, it'd be about that big. And like not full hand, but it'd be at least that big around when I pulled it off, and probably about half a centimeter deep. Um, and my anxiety started getting really bad. My depression started getting really bad. And so, I just kept going. And then a couple months later, I'm out on my porch just reading Facebook. And I start I hear about this post that keeps being deleted about a woman who took her kid to the doctor and had lead poisoning. And then you start hearing things about a cover up. And, you know, with the depression, like I wasn't sure if I was being paranoid or what. And then over the summer, stuff starts coming out. And everything started to make sense. Like, just why I had been going through such a rough time, and finding out that, water, the one thing that I always made sure to really do good on, I would normally drink at least 64 ounces a day, more like 72. Um, it turned out that I may have been poisoned by my water, and that, I wasn't crazy, that my hair was falling out for a reason, that um, my skin would prickle and break out because it had a rash. Like, it all started to make sense. And my anxiety was just, it was so bad, that like I started doing research, which freaked me out even more. And then then Snyder admitted it, and everything started coming out. And that was gratifying in a way. And it was it was terrifying at the same time. But it's like, okay, now we've got bottled water. So at least now I know that I'm not going to have to argue and present my case for, spending a very limited part of a very limited grocery budget on something you can get from the tap. And then um, it just, it got to the point where the urge to do something outweighed the anxiety. And then I was lucky enough to have one of my medications changed a bit, and I was able to start going out and protesting. And, I still deal with depression, I still deal with anxiety, but it is so cathartic to go out and to shoot these protests and to be a part of it, because it's, we're not going to take it. We're not sitting down and letting this happen to us. Flint is, even though we've all been poisoned, we're not a bunch of victims. We band together, we've been working together. If anything, it's brought the community together. It's brought my block together. But it's still not fair. I mean, I wash my hair every other week. I go out of town to do it. I work from home, which is a blessing because it means that I can go, 3-4 days between baths. And even those get shorter and shorter. No soak baths anymore. Unless I'm out of town. Just, it's hard to deal with. It's like a rain cloud that's constantly over your head. The fact that I have to double filter water or give my cats bottled water to keep them from chewing their hair out is, this is a first world country. I shouldn't have to be doing that. And I mean, or cooking dinner, like it's actually a lot harder to wash, celery with bottled water than you would think, because you basically got to wet it down, then you got to loosen the dirt, and then you rinse it off. And it's funny because, well, it's not really funny. My little sister, we were over there for Christmas, and so I was making all sorts of Flint water jokes like, oh, well, hey, at least you guys can drink the water. And, oh, hey, look, a bunch of bottled water. Yay, now we don't have to worry about, what's going to happen. But she's like, we get it, Meg. Your water sucks. Well, Ken's, I'm not sure if you're watching this, but you're getting a Flint Lives Matter shirt for your birthday. So I think the worst thing is, it's like I said with the tooth, you get used to it, and then you find out about stuff like the Legionnaire's disease. And I remember hearing about that on the news, and it didn't occur to me that that didn't happen in other areas. That it was, that we were having all these cases, and it's incredibly abnormal. You know, you don't think twice about crap. Okay, Legionnaire's disease, that's scary, and there's a lot of people getting sick. But you don't realize that other outbreaks aren't as bad as that. So it's just, it's infuriating. You know, I do my best to get up in the morning and style and do my thing and keep track of the news. And it's, you know, I've got a news magazine on this app called Flipboard that I do a lot of work to make sure that I try to have accurate articles in it, but it's gotten to the point that I haven't updated it in like 2 weeks because I just can't. I can't deal with it. It's everywhere. You can't escape it. And I think that's one of the things that takes the biggest tolls on you. So, yeah. I know kind of went from my story to shifting it, but it's not, it's just not me, or I'm not the only one that's been affected. I'm just one of many.